Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey and that results, and this is Feln. So this is a re-record of a video I did yesterday, but ultimately I wasn't really happy with the audio, so I'm just going to record it again, run through the ladder and see where we get to. So it's been a few days since the ladder reset now, and I think that Feln is perhaps one of the decks that you really want to be playing right about now, just to get on the ladder and start gaining some levels. I think it's got quite a lot of game against the fire-based beatdown decks, as well as being quite good against a bunch of more controlling decks as well. The reason for this is because in the other game you've got things like Vara's Favour, which if you are on the play, are really good against like Oni Ronins, and it's really hard for your opponent to come back from their turn 1 play just being gobbled up by Vara's Favour, and then you following up for Feln Bloodcaster. But speaking of Feln Bloodcaster, this isn't really liked too much by the Eternal community, but I think Feln Bloodcaster is great because in the beatdown decks you get to play a wall, and sure it's not as good as it was in set 1 where it just completely stonewalls someone who's trying to beat you down, because it does just bounce off a number of threats now like Whirling Joe, and of course a lot of the beatdown threats now have taken to the skies, but for the most part I think this is really good against Skycrag. And you're able to play this and then maybe even follow for Hailstorm, so you still have some protection against charge units. As well as in control decks, it's still gonna be in there, getting for like 6 points of damage, and then if it's not dealt with later on, it will just pay 7 to draw 2 cards. And I won't really be too concerned about our opponent's face ages here, because we do have a bunch of ways to pop it in the matchups where that matters, because we do have Vara's Favours, in Cold Blood for playing Justice units, and we've also got the Black Sky Harbinger over here, which all through the way for our Azindel's Gift, and I feel pretty confident that we can have Azindel's Gift in our deck, even though we are going to be expecting to play against a bunch of beatdown decks, just because we do have the Scout from Crest Cunning, and we've also just got Strategize, so if it's bad, we'll just bottom it. But even against beatdown decks, it can be pretty good because it stops them from stockpile, and usually they're quite power light, so you can usually just play as an over expensive, discard 2 or 3 cards, or just force you to play all your things now. But for the most part, you probably will just be bottoming it. But against the more controlling opponents, we do have some really great threats here, because we've got the Champion of Cunning and the Jotun Fuse Caller. And when you think you've finally finished with them, we do get to Dark Return and back. Dark Return is no Vara, to be honest, but it does have one upside in that, well, it's cheaper for a start, so you can play your thing, and if they've just like spent the whole turn just to kill your 5-cost thing on 6, you can usually just replay it with the Dark Return. And also, Vara doesn't get back Jotun Fuse Caller, but Dark Return does. And the best thing about Jotun Fuse Caller is that if you are pairing with Dark Return, that whatever the number you had the draw card ability up to is going to be set. So if you Dark Return it and you had it like draw 3 cards, you get a 5-power 5/5 that when it attacks draws 3, sorry. It doesn't really matter if it dies at that point, because you've drawn cards and your opponent's had to spend resources to deal with it, and if not, you just get to run away with the game. We do have the pile of Cobalt Waystones here, and this is generally good against sort of burn spells to your face, but for the most part this is just in the mirror. Your opponent's going to hold this if they do have Azindel's Gift, as if you can't use this to protect yourself from the gift getting on in the first place, you can buy yourself a couple of turns, and usually that's all it takes to be able to end the game, because your opponent in the mirror, really, I don't like Azindel's Gift in the mirror. I've just beaten it so many times, and I think it's just a little bit too slow when the threats you could be playing are things like Champion of Cunning. If you've already established the Champions of Cunning and then you get to gift, then you're in a great shape then. But if you play this when you're behind, I just don't feel like it does enough. Okay, well, let's get on to those games. Okay, well, here on the play, the hand's a little bit too power light, and it's just like 7/6/5, so let's get rid of this. I do like the Levitates in this deck, they'll do quite a lot of work. And this isn't much better, but we're probably just going to get to Strategize with this. And I think Wald was playing Praxis tokens before, but I don't really care about that right now. I'm just going to Crest here and keep that because it's a power. But basically I was just going to Crest there and bottom anything that wasn't a power.
Die with honor.
Yes, this is even better. So when you're on the play and you get to do this, it just feels absolutely absurd.
The touch of shadow.
And now we're basically set up until 4. We should be able to find the 5th power with Strategize. Our opponent's playing an Oni deck, so Hailstorm should be able to do the job. And then Jotun Fuse Caller here should be able to just close the door on the opponent. So you see there as well, our opponents played a Scarecrow banner, so they really actually needed that Holy Rune to be in play, so they were able to curve out. I think I would rather just have double Bloodcaster than Azindel's gift, so these are probably going to be really good as well. I remember when I was first playing the Scarecrow deck and I had Vadius in it, that it was so tedious to play against Feln because they didn't have Hailstorm yet, but you played a Vadius and then they just played Feln Bloodcaster. You're just like, what do I do here? Well, what do we do here? It's pretty simple. Just play the 2-5. And that Vara's favour there just could have been absolutely absurd because our opponent could have just been relying on something. Well, this is a nuisance. I think we are just probably just taking 5 here. I mean, an attack for free. Do you block all Hailstorm? No, I don't want to do that. That's more resources I want to give up.
Little brothers, let us feast!
I play this, of course, our opponent could just like torch it and then Permafrost it, which is a bit of a nuisance. But then we'll just be set up, strategize, and just try and find an answer to this. Yeah, so this is what I was pretty much figuring, that when our opponent made the Oni Ronin, perhaps they were going to be going like Onyx Katana into the free power equipment. Well, I'm happy to trade here for a torch. Now this ability is not super concerning to me unless it hits like a Vadius, because just be able to ultimate straight away. Well, Strategize, just trying to find one of our 4 power answers. And double Hailstorm will eventually be good. Well, Annihilate's great. What do we not have time for? Well, let's get rid of the Crest of Cunning. Play our power, just annihilate this. We've done really well to be on turn 6, and our opponent's basically done 8 damage to us. Yeah, so this is the concern. The best thing that our opponent could have hit there. Let's bottom this power. Attack in, and then I'm just going to double Hailstorm, which will kill everything. Oh. Yes, cost 7 to ultimate, right? Tempted just to annihilate this, then Harbinger. No, that's fine. Yeah, we'll let this die. Play the Harbinger. Get to gain a life. This needs to be a trick to be able to get through the Harbinger. Opponent attacks we probably just don't block because we will just be tied up with the Hailstorm.
Now, fire!
Okay, well we don't have the option here. So if we drop Underplate Power, well, this is pretty nice at tidying up any other Vadiuses, but it's just going to be make a Bloodcaster, and then next turn it's probably just going to be, well, draw 2 cards off it. Yeah, so our opponent can see the rise on the wall with like 14 life with 4 cards in hand. And that's just what Feln does, really. Okay, well, this hand's a redraw. It's not really doing enough. The deck turn with no unit to pair it with, and then just like, I suppose it is a bunch of interaction. We are on the draw, so this lets us answer a couple of plays. So I suppose we'll actually keep this, but it's a speculative one. Slow this down a bit. Okay, just to fix up that audio again. For some reason I could still hear the in-game sounds even though I'd had it all set to basically as low as possible. The only ones I was really interested in. Okay, this is a mirror, which means our hand's not great, but if I plays their Aegis unit first, so they get to pop the Aegis and then just get rid of it for Permafrost. Permafrost, of course, not the best answer to Champion of Cunning. You really just want a hard answer to that. But we've got Fate's Aegis now, so I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm hoping our opponent plays their Feast Caller first. So there's not going to be any target for this Levitate right now, because I was really hoping just to hit that power so we can get this Jotun Feast Caller down. Because our opponent's only really got Permafrost and Feeding Time that interact with it in a way that we're concerned about. And the 6 power would be good, but I'm really, if it's power, I'd like it to be Shadow. Well, 6 power with the Jotun Feast Caller is pretty good, because then if our opponent answers with their own, we get to play the Levitate. Let's pop it, and then we'll have to spend 1 power an outer. Okay. Well, I was more thinking about our opponent having like a Feast Caller, which is where I was more happy to keep up the Levitate so we could answer it with an Annihilate. So we are under a little bit of a clock here, and we'll have to kill this eventually. But fortunately for us, our opponent's only got 2 Shadow Sources. Now this looks like their Levitate. But we'll just start to turn it back. But if we do draw our own Shadow Source, then we'll just play the champion. This will bring us to 7. Let's play the champion, so I think I'll do that. And we do have like a minimum of 3 turns, so we need to worry about this, and just need to have other things in play, and we can hopefully just keep those quiet for the time being.
The Feln show no mercy.
I should have done my trading here, because we do have the Dark Turn, so we'll just get ours back straight away. So I'm not sure if it was wrong there to get this and just allow the trade, or if it would have been better just to get the Jotun Feast Caller, but I feel like our opponent's got 4 cards in hand. Okay, so they're playing actual elf control here. Well, they've got 3 power left, so they should be able to answer this. What do they have in here? Okay, so stuff like Mirror Image. So I think it's just a case of just keep presenting real big threats right now. Because 6/5 flyers are no joke. And if our opponent thinks that, you know, they can perhaps like survive a turn, if they just answer the Black Sky Hamager, we've still got the Champion of Cunning here, plus the Black Sky in hand, just to be able to deal a final point. Okay, well, this hand seems like quite a good mix of things to keep. I mean, it's got these Feln Bloodcasters, which if we're against the beatdown deck, we've also got the Vara's Favour, even though we are on the draw, so it's not quite as powerful. But we've got Strategize if anything's bad, and we do have basically the free power, so I think we will keep this on the draw. This is probably Primal we're playing against here. So I'm going to assume here that the Hailstorm is not going to do too much work. But yeah, I think I'm just going to save the Vara's Favour for a little bit longer. Might be able to pick off just something like a hammer with it. I'm happy just to establish this as like a threat. It's going to do like 6 to 8 damage. If my opponent doesn't deal with it. And later on we should be able to... Okay, well this is probably just grabbing a Rune Hammer. So I'm probably just to strategize here, just bottom this Hailstorm, get it out of here. And Gift's going to be pretty great in this matchup. As long as we can keep our opponent off having a face Aegis. So if our opponent plays Cobalt, Waystone here and Runehammer, then we'll be in trouble. But just the Runehammer's not going to do it because we'll just be able to pop this with the Vara Fail. Yeah, we're just a basic Primal source there, so they don't get the face Aegis, protect them from this. Okay, so they've got a fast interaction here, so it must be a torch they've got. This is quite close to being ultimated anyway. But I think the plan is just going to be to Azindel's gift them basically as soon as possible. So the forearm is a bit of a problem because if they do get to make another rune hammer, they get to basically mow down our little Jotun feast caller here. Okay, well, if we do this, our opponent torches our unit. I don't want to play the champion out here just to get everything swept up by harsh roll, but I suppose we're just going to try and sort of fight through. Need to try and pop this Aegis, so I need to draw an undepleted power basically as soon as possible, really, just so we're able to ultimate the Feln Bloodcaster. So this lets our opponent use the hammer, but I'm sort of fine with that. Well, I guess let's use the torch actually. But then, okay, so Hailstorm plus torch on the Feln Bloodcaster. Okay, so they're not using the torch. Well, sadly we're sitting here with a bunch of no interaction, which is a little bit sad. Okay, so great. Now we need to figure out a way to be able to pop this Aegis so that we'll be able to follow up with an Azindel's gift. But I feel like this game's probably going to be a little bit hard to win with. Could have actually made the heads up play of using Inkle Blood on the Throne one to try and pop the face Aegis as well. But I was just being a little bit greedy trying to save this for an Icaria.
Rise up or be cut down.
Well, here we have to do the old Hail Mary and hope that our... Well, now we get to set up the Azindel's gift next turn. Need to hope that the immediately buffed unit isn't the first one drawn, so we get a turn where we can just play down the Azindel's gift. Yeah, this is going to be rough here. If we draw undepleted power, however, we're able to just keep that busy. Our opponent does have Caleb's Choice in the deck, so the gift isn't lights out here. But we do actually need to just double Permafrost this. Just so that we don't just take 8 this turn and then be dead to the torch that I'm pretty sure our opponent's got. Yeah. So maybe they're still playing a build with Obliterate? No, it's just a triple torch here. Okay. We're just spending all the resources. Well, unfortunately for us, we are still dead, and just keep the Wisdom Nails on there and scoop it up. Yeah, so on the draw here, I don't think we can really keep this, because if we are against like a beatdown deck, we're not hit our third power, we're not going to do anything from the Feln Bloodcaster, so Let's just ship it back, see if we can do better. This is much better. Even if we are against the beatdown deck, well, so we are. So I'm just going to Permafrost that just so I don't have to deal with it. Because otherwise this is going to do like 6 months of damage, get them 3 war cries before we're able to deal with anything. Now we just sort of need to hope that this is the typical Sky card draw perhaps where they were relying on this. Well, now we're in trouble. Well, Hailstorm's sort of great here. Okay, well I'm just going to Crest, just show a little bit of weakness. We'll keep that just as a unconditional removal spell. So I'm hoping our opponent's got the Dream Curve where they get to play Vadius. Well, this is sort of fine. We do get to pop this Aegis. And then we get to sweep the board. We don't have a way to win the game quite yet. But I feel pretty ahead in our opponent. Chuck out Primal Sigil. Just get us towards that face Aegis just to protect us from Mortar later on. And Primal is going to be pretty great. I'm not too concerned about having another Strategize because I just rather have the actual Wisdom of the Elders. We'll just Frost this. Well, I've probably got a Ring Correlator then. That's probably going to suck, but they are quite tight on power here. Good to have it all. I'd rather use the Vara's Favour just to kill an actual thing, especially something that can become a late game threat like the Paranoid. Although our opponent is like 4 power away from me, it will do that. Okay, well. Enough for me to do here, just take this opportunity just to Wisdom the Elders. And they're probably going to block here because I'm going to need like a pretty incredible trick to be able to not make this just a gobble up by us. And then we are reasonably close to getting the shadow buff here as well. Well, sadly, we do have to worry about Pummel with the Vadius attacking. Wow. Class 6 interesting. I think there's only really one here that we're actually concerned about. So we'll just pay 8 power, discard a card to kill a Vadius, which is pretty rough. The opponent's got a torch here, perhaps. So I'm just going to get rid of the quick draw one here because that's the only one that's actually a problem. Because we can just block like either of these, and it looks like it's torch they've got rather than actually a pummel because our opponent doesn't have the shouldn't have the window to be able to play pummel when we're playing removal spells. Yeah, okay, so we've got the second one and we'll be able to start boosting up. So just kill this, we'll have a 7/5, and then next turn we're just going to have some huge Feln feasty boys. Yep, make the trade. Do we make the trade? Yeah, I think we do. So we make the trade there just because we've got the replacement coming up. And as much as I would like to have these in multiples, I don't want to just go to 10.
The Feln show no mercy.
And I think we are still in the point of the game where we do need to preserve our life total. But we've effectively winning the race here though, because if I want attacks, I'm just going to let it go through. Just attack for 7 back. And this is perhaps another game where you've seen, even though we were, okay, even better. So we're definitely attacking now. Just sort of force our opponent to start putting things in play, and they'll just be able to Hailstorm them up. And also this is a 2-turn clock. Okay, well, opponent's going for the face.
Wield the blade.
But being at 14, my opponent's got no board. I'm not really scared here. Because they do need to kill us this turn or like use something to pop the Aegis and just Permafrost this, buy themselves some time. And they're unable to find that. So the Scarecrow versus Feln matchup seems quite difficult but very winnable, and I'm pretty happy for that to be where we're at with the deck. Okay, so here we're on the draw with just the old Levitate Dark Return with nothing to bring back, so we'll redraw this. This is much better. I'm a little bit suspicious about this Azindel's Gift. I think at this point probably we'll just be using the Crest here just to bottom anything that's... Yep, so bottom the Waystone there, just bottom anything that is a power there. I think what to keep was really card draw. Okay, well, in Cold Blood could be interesting here. We'll be getting the Primal Sigil though, just because this allows us to set up for the Feast Caller. There's not too much Aegis in our opponent's deck. Okay, well, we'll just need to get fishing for some Hailstorms here. And Bloodcaster will buy us a little bit of time here. So we get to block here, and our opponent has to use like a torch to get through. So our opponent's off that. Well, I don't like charge threats, so let's get rid of this. So I'm wondering what's our opponent's hand that they didn't make a play last turn. Now we are going to miss out on the face Aegis here, but we're just going to play one of these every turn for the next couple of turns. Okay, well, more than happy to attack in here. And I think we'll kill this one. Leave Mr. Silence around because it's just going to get cold-blooded, because I think this is another nuisance we don't want to play against. And it's probably a bit of a clunky threat that could be in our opponent's hand. Oh boy. Take a drone dropper. Well, that's a nuisance, so let's get the old free attack in. Don't worry about as much charge here. I felt Bloodcaster was effectively killed by the Valkyrie Enforcer. Oh, rats. Yeah, let's get that Feast Caller back. Just as a 5/5 that's going to draw us a few cards here. So the opponent does get to infinitely chump now with the little grenadines. So maybe this was the thing that we wanted to hit with in Cold Blood. Oh, that's fine then. So I was thinking about just being a little bit tricksy and playing this and then levitating it to block. But I think I was going to play the Harbinger. I'm pretty sure we could have generated like a board position where we could have just gained a million life off this, but everyone's got loads of grading drones. But I'm still reasonably happy to do this trick next turn. Okay, so we're at 7, so we can make a 4 and a 3. Big champion run is mostly just fine for now. It should keep these busy for now.
Trust in your skills.
Don't think we need to mess about too much with the levitates. So we'll be at 8. So don't just get to do not quite enough. Probably going to overdraw it, but I'd really like to find... Oh wow, all that power. Okay, so they've just gone for like infinity blocks here just to play on removal spells. don't really want to Wizmills here because we're just going to discard whatever we draw. So we have 5 power to play with. I'm probably just going to kill this. This. I'll just in Cobalt because we've seen less of this. Let's end a turn to just discard a bunch of power. Then next turn we should be able to take over the game properly. Just dealt with like threats that we actually care about here. Papa's got Finest Star, we still get to make this as a trade. Okay, so it might just be pop Aegis. Well, Runehammer's fine as well. Let's try and find a Vara's Favor or a Black Sky Harbinger. Now it might be the same, we just play Gift, yeah. Okay, well, should have done that in a slightly different order because we could have Vara's Favoured first. Let's get rid of this Feln banner. Pro will have to play everything they've got, and then we'll be able to follow up with 2 Jotun Feast Callers. Maybe the Gift was the thing that did it because our opponent is playing the slightly bigger version of Ricano there. Okay, well, here we are on the play, which is an interesting hand because very much like a beatdown deck, you get to, you know, take some damage and then tie it with a Hailstorm. I think we will keep this, but the hand doesn't look as good as it is. I'll save some time on the Crest though, because I don't know what I want or don't want quite yet. Normally we'll just lead on it because usually it's just a very binary thing where I don't care what my opponent's up to, I've got an idea of what I personally want. This could very well be the mirror, so more Crests is probably fine. Helps us just have both sides for the champion here. Feeding time should be reasonably good against the opponent as well. Yeah, now that's good because that means on 5 should be able to Hailstorm plus Annihilate just to get rid of a Feast Caller. Oh wow, okay, so this is not the deck before it was. Well, let's just feed time this. This match could be pretty rough now because we don't have... Well, we don't have Stuart in the past anymore. So the interesting thing with Annihilate now is that in Feln mirrors, now this actually does something. Previously the only thing it would kill was the Steward of the past turn, and now you're able to use it to kill the Jotun Feast Callers. Well, I'm pretty sure we're just against like some sort of Hornet Scream deck here. But if you can find the slots to put the sort of Scream package into Feln control, then more power to you. By the way, we're just going to do 5, 10, 15 dead with Champion Cunning as long as nothing's interaction with us here. And if we find our Shadow Source, and the next turn we'll be in absolutely absurd shape. Rats. Well, the one that's not got any value can just get in and do 5 damage here, because this is not going to Aegis, so it's worth a lot less than this one. We'll go straight up to 11. Okay, what Mirage is interesting there. It's a Cold Blood one of ours. Then think I'm just going to be in the point of the game now where we're just trying to damage our opponent as much as possible. Then hopefully we're either able to fade a flying blocker or we're just able to annihilate whatever they put in our way. Though our opponent does have a million more cards than us. Rats, another one. I actually sell just for another threat here. Okay, so opponent's using the Vara's favour here. Do they ever follow up? Okay, well, Wizmills is a great start here. Well, Permafrost could get us through. I think we might just be attacking here just to get our opponent's champion out of play. Because I feel like our opponent's got an answer to this one. And that would mean that they'd be able to keep their champion going. Now, I've got a bunch more cards in those. Yeah, let's just frost this, so it's not an issue. So we've got some sort of fast speed instruction here. Is it like an unseal? Nope, okay. So get our blast guy down. Okay, so it's Devour, so that makes sense. So it looks like our opponent's just playing a Feln control variant, where they've also got the Scream package in it. Now Scream package is probably pretty good because that's going to help you from running out of gas. And perhaps just playing the Gargan Fanatic instead of the Feln Bloodcaster. Of course they are going to get to sort of set up the hand here to be pretty great. And then of course just playing on Haunted Scream on our next turn we're just going to annihilate this when they go to attack, so they're not able to Haunted Scream anything else up. So that does play into sort of removal spells. No, sorry. Does play into counter spells. I think that's still sort of fine. And they've got in cold blood for whatever else they might put in the way that's flying. So they play like another boss Harbinger, but just annihilate this. Okay, well, we're still live to draw like another interactive spell here. Okay, well, Levitate was it. Not even. If I'll get you out of this. Oh, we managed to get there. Well, I felt like our opponent was doing something a lot more powerful than us, but we just managed to not let them do it because we managed to kill them so quick. Okay, so here we are again at the deck tech for Feln Control. And it didn't go quite as well as the video from yesterday. Still a pretty good showing for Feln now, just the cheeky 4-1. Also really see the power of the deck here if in the earlier days of the ladder, where a lot of people are just going to be playing Skycrack and even the Mirror, where you just get to hopefully outplay them by cunningly drawing all your champions, or being able to just answer their Jotun Feast callers. This deck's pretty sweet. There's not much more I can say about it, but I am looking forward to the new set, and I'll add up the image that I added up yesterday. And this was spoiled by a friend of the show, Notorious JHP, and fellow teammate, and they spoiled this on their stream, which you should really check out. But Runda's Choice is, I think, going to be a great boon for this deck, because not only is it a 2-power answer to sort of annoying threats like Tavrod and Champion of Fury, but it also gets to negate enemy spells that are a bit of a nuisance as well. So cards like Stand Together, and even Island's Choice and Feeding Time in the Mirror, because that's a pretty big blow, just being able to protect your threats and destroy your opponents, because this also does hit all the champions, including our champion of Cunning over here. So I'm pretty excited to see what this card can add for us. But overall, just looking forward to set 4 in general. It's going to be the release of the game as well, where we get to go live, and hopefully that will be reflected in even shorter queue times and more people making content for us. So, having that resolves, and this was Feast and Feln. I'll see you around.